Bonjour, vive la France. Mon doux, j'ai fait quelque chose de complètement fou. Revenez après les génériques des ouvertures pour découvrir de qui il s'agit. Bonjour mes amis, je m'appelle Antoine Doge, étranger du train miniatures, l'étranger du Märklin, un cheval des tableaux lausanniques. Aujourd'hui, nous avons quelque chose de très spécial. Okay, that's it. I butchered the French language. I apologize to anybody who speaks French out there. But it's been a long time since I even tried to speak French. So why am I speaking French? Because today is something very special. Now, I've done videos, a couple of videos in the past about trying to find and putting together a Orient Express, the famous French express train, the Orient Express. And there are many variations out there. And I just picked up pieces as I could at train shows because it's a famous train and I wanted one. Well, right before I went for Germany, well, about a month, 2 months before I went to Germany, I got an email from my friend Simon in Denmark, who has a friend who runs a train shop in Copenhagen. And he said, Anthony, something just came into the shop I think you'd be interested in. And he sent me a couple of pictures. And my eyes popped and I said, yeah, I'm interested. Long story short, we negotiated a price. And then I had to wait 2 months to get to Germany. And even then, I had to wait a week, 2 weeks into my German trip before I could see them. Simon came down while we were in Neumünster. He had never been to Miniature Wonderland, so Joyce, Simon, and I went to Miniature Wonderland. And but the evening before, he brought me my special treasure, and I've been waiting to get this on the track ever since. So here it is. This is part one. It is Märklin number 42790, but that's not it because there's the follow-up. 42791, the completion set. I can't even get the whole box in the screen. It is the Märklin Orient Express. This was their slightly rarer version. This goes for quite a bit more. You can find some of these, not this particular edition, but you can find them for less than I paid, but they're very hard to come by, and usually this particular set goes a pretty penny, but I'm happy I bought it. I don't know if I heavily overpaid or if I got a good deal, because I've seen them go for a little less than what I paid, and I've seen them go for more. But I got it. I got the Märklin Orient Express in the blue. Now, this is the Simplon Orient Express. There are several, including one that starts in England and then would go over to Calais, I believe, and then from Calais onto Paris and eventually onto Istanbul. Okay, it's one of the most famous trains in the world. There is a company that still runs what they call an Orient Express. I believe it's called the Venice Simplon Orient Express, and it's gone through some hands. Something I saw said it was out of business, but an American investor bought it and revived it, and it's going again. I don't know what the truth is. Maybe somebody else. I could have Googled it, but it's just not that interesting. All I care about is I've got it. The full 8-car set, 2 baggage cars, 6 passenger cars. And I know there can be other variations, but this was, as much as that Lufthansa Express, this is one of the things on my I've got to get it list for years. And it's right here. Let's take a look at it.
All right, here it is. So long I can't even fit it into the picture. Eight glorious cars, an absolutely exquisite set. This is modern era Märklin high end. This is really quality stuff. There's no measurements to give you. I just want you to take a look at the cars as we go along. The one baggage car does have a decoder in it, which has a series of sound and light functions. So I'm just going to go ahead and show these with the lights on. This is absolutely a stunning set of cars. Very pretty. The clear story design by CIWL. And I'm going to have to push these up by hand for a second. We might get a little flicker there. There. All right, so the dining car with the little lamps on the table that light up separately. Now, mind you, I have seen some lamp sets fancier and brighter in some UK models and some Lima models overall, but just stunning for how small those lamps are on the table. Just absolutely, each car is just absolutely beautiful. Come back and let you take another look at some of these cars up close. Maybe pause the screen if you want a slightly more detailed look. This was a collector set. It was limited release a few years ago. It was cheaper when it came out than what I paid for it. Unfortunately, at the time, it was out of my budget. But just a stunning set of cars. And I unfortunately do not have the means to show them off both in their close detail as well as getting them all in as a rake. You'll have to just catch that when I do some of the running shots, which I'll get to in a minute, but just absolutely stunning in my opinion. I couldn't be happier. I am so grateful to Simon and his friend who negotiated with me, and we found a way we could work it out and buy it. And Simon saved me shipping and other costs by holding on to it and bringing it to me in person. So this is just a glorious, glorious train set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to me to wrap it up and then some running shots. And then we'll see this on my live stream Friday. All right, so there it is, my 8-car Orient Express, the Simplon Express version. I'm just over the moon with this. It is a gorgeous set of break of cars. I know the brown is the more famous Orient Express that went to Istanbul, but I just like the blue color, and I already have variations of brown coaches with my Rheingolds and such, and this is the one I've wanted, and it was like a grand slam for my trip to Germany. Right before we went to Germany, this became available and I got it, and then while in Germany I got the Lufthansa Express, which was in the previous video. This is just stunning. So I'm going to leave you with a few running shots, and then hopefully you'll come and join the live stream on Friday to see the thing in action. I just have to pick which locomotive, but really there's no choice. I've only got one I think that's appropriate at this time. But until the next video, I'm going to say au revoir, adieu, and le train's fantastique. Take care, everybody. When it came to a choice of loco, there really was only one to run this inaugural session with my new Orient Express, and that is this Märklin French 231, which does pull the Orient Express, although the 241 is probably more famous. I don't know which one's more common, but it's the one I have. So we're going to let this guy pull the Orient Express. There are a couple of gorgeous German locos I have that would have looked really sharp with this as well. But for today's first run, we're going to let this beautiful 231 join its countrymen and run as the Orient Express. Let's see if we can get this in motion. Obviously some slippage while it gets its gears going. But once I get it up to speed, it's fine. After all, if you don't get up to speed, it's not an express, is it?